We wanted to see who's awake. No, I'm just joking. I'm just covering for my upline priest team.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so what's going to be different with the supervisor calls, as Bia said, is that we're going to be focusing a little bit more on things on a leadership level. So I'm using that as a disclaimer for what I'm going to be talking to you about with you guys tonight, because this isn't going to be an airy-fairy chat about Herbalife and what we do as coaches. This is really going to be a gloves-off, hands-on chat. And my team members who are on the call tonight, they know that when I get into this mode, you need to fasten your seatbelt and hold on, because it's something that I feel very strongly about. But when I'm talking to you guys about this, it's the exact same talk I had with myself. So I'm not preaching to you. I'm talking about what we should do as leaders, how we should behave as supervisors, because we need to think like leaders. We can't have a member mentality as a supervisor and expect to grow to levels beyond supervisor. Because what we must remember, guys, is that you can get to supervisor haphazardly, meaning you can do it by accumulating a bit of volume here and there, perhaps signing up a random member here and there. But you're not going to advance beyond that. And you're definitely not going to get to be an active supervisor if you're holding on to the membership mentality. So I'm going to be referring to that a few times tonight. And I'm not saying I'm not downplaying members, but I'm assuming that if you're on a call on a Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock as a supervisor, it's because you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to develop, you want to get to your next levels, you want to know how to work with your team, and what you should be focusing on. So I might get a bit tough on some of the aspects on the call, so I'm apologizing in advance for that. And if you feel halfway through the call that I shouldn't be talking to you, that this isn't for you, please feel free to leave the call, because this is really for people who want to grow. And this is how the calls are going to be structured in future as well. So you'll see tonight also there's no slides. I've got notes. I'm not just talking out of my head. So I did prepare properly for this call. But I don't want to have slides on the screen and everyone's focusing on the slides and not really listening to what I'm saying. So, you know, Jim Rohn says it beautifully in one of his trainings, where he says there's a reason why they make the first grade tables and chairs so small. It's because you can't stay in first grade forever, right? So for you to grow and to become better, you need to do more. You need to learn new skills. You need to develop yourself. You know, so looking at yourself as a supervisor, I'm assuming that all of you already have members in your team, that you didn't get to supervisor just by accumulating personally purchased volume. But having a team is one thing. Working with them is a completely different story, you know. So something that I fixed for myself right at the start was to make contact with my members. And I actually started getting into the habit of getting in touch with my brand new members. So as a supervisor, hopefully by now, at the very latest, you should have BizWorks. There will be a training in future on BizWorks on how to use it and what reports you can get and what kind of information you can get from BizWorks. But BizWorks helps you. There's a report that says new applicants. So I started working with that report, because when I made that decision to start getting more serious about my business and how I run it, I already had quite a big number of members in my team. So I decided, instead of working with all the older people, I basically ran reports for new applicants for the 3 months prior to when I made that decision. And I started taking a couple of people per day and started making contact with those guys just to introduce myself so that they know who I am. But I did that with the purpose of connecting with them, because I want to know what their goals are. And it's not that I think that anyone in my team or the supervisors in my team at that point didn't know what their members' goals were, or that I was trying to override what they were doing. But in the end, everyone who's in their teams is in my team as well. This is my organization. If I want to be a leader, I need to take responsibility for every single person that is in my team. So I made the decision to start getting in touch with them. And, you know, it's brilliant when you start doing that. It's a bit scary when you do it, because you don't always know what the response is going to be. But I got to get to know some interesting people in my team. I got to realize that some people were just signed up and they weren't being supported. Now imagine if I didn't pick up the phone and connect with those people, where they would be right now. Perhaps I might have been lucky that they figured things out for themselves and at least became product lovers, or they might probably have just disappeared and not be around anymore. So it gave me an opportunity to see how I could assist them, but also to make sure that they have the full picture of what Herbalife has to offer, because perhaps the person who signed them up only signed them up for the discount as a customer, but never took the time to talk to them about the opportunity to increase their discount from 25 to 50%, in brackets, building a business. So I don't approach it from a building a business point of view, but I want them to understand what all the benefits are of becoming a member, that it's not just the 25% discount that you get. And when I say call, I mean pick up the phone, guys. I'm not talking about using WhatsApp. We are so comfortable to be disconnected from people using things like WhatsApp. And you can use as many emoticons as you want to in a message. You're still not going to get that same excitement. You're not going to get that same connection when the person can actually hear the friendly voice on the other side. And I can hear the person's voice on the other side and hear how they're responding to what I'm saying. So, if you know what your members' goals are, then you can help them to put a plan together to achieve it. Because there's a reason that person signed up. I have never spoken to a person who said they just signed up, but they don't actually know why. There's always a reason why they signed up. It was for the discount. They wanted to earn extra money. But there's always something. Then I want to know, by when do they want to achieve that? How can I help them? What can I do from my side? And perhaps then include their sponsor as well, if their sponsor is someone who is active in the business, to work towards helping them achieve their goals. Because remember, this person signed up for a reason. I want to know what that reason is and how I can help them. Because there's no use they signed up for a reason, but we don't give them a roadmap. It's like you being dumped in the middle of London without a roadmap, and I tell you to get yourself to Canary Wharf. You're going to look at me like I'm crazy. Like, how do you want me to get there if you're not giving me a map or a GPS or something? But this is what we do with our members. We sell them this picture of results. We sell them this picture of earning extra money, and we don't bother to ask what it is that they want when they sign up. Or perhaps we ask, but then we say, congratulations, here's your members pack. Let's go out and change lives and make money. But we don't give them a plan to make that happen. So we need to take responsibility for that. And it doesn't stop just at people you recruit personally. You have to look at your entire organization. And if you're in a position right now where you only have a few members in your team, that's great, because it's going to be easier to connect with those people. If you've got 50, 80, 100 plus members in your team, it's going to take a little bit more time and effort to make it happen, but you can still make it happen. So if you already have a big team and you say it's going to be too many, I can't deal with all of that, it's going to be overwhelming. At least start then with your most recent members that signed up. But what I did in addition to that is I started running reports as far back as I could until I got to a point where I saw, okay, this is the last time I had actually connected with a member in my team. They're already in my phone book. So that's the other thing that I did. Every single member, and it takes time, but if you do it from the start, you don't have to spend hours like I did. I record all of the information, their name and surname, who their upline sponsor is, their Herbalife ID number, their email address, and their birthdays. So I've got that, and which city they're in or town they're in. I record all of that information on my phone, because then it's very easy. If they do get in touch with me regarding a query, I can assist them and I can help them with those things. So what I did with the very old members is I started working on 2 to 3 of those people per day, in addition to the other people that I were contacting, the brand new members. And that's how I started catching up on my backlog. And I'm not saying that the goal is to work, if you've got 200 members in your team, I'm not saying you have to work hard and build business with all 200. The purpose of getting in touch with them is just so that they know there's someone else that they can get in touch with. if they need help with something, and so that you can find out their goals. Because if it's someone who signed up just for the products, they love the products, they want to get into shape, they've got a weight loss goal, you can promote things like the 30-day challenge. If you're running your own client support groups, you can plug them into that, because then you're just supporting them as a customer, and that doesn't take up that much of your time. But by getting in touch with every single person, you're doing that so that you can identify the small handful of guys who are the ones who want more, who are the ones who are willing to put in the work for what they want more as well. So it helps you to distinguish between who you have in your team and who you can actually take on this journey along with you. And the 80-20 principle puts it out beautifully, where you need to spend 80% of your time on the 20% of the people in your team who make up the biggest part of your check. Okay, so this is what this exercise is about. It's about finding the people who contribute the most to your royalty and your wholesale check, because they're probably going to be around 20%, but that's where you need to spend 80% of your time. Most of the time we get it the other way around. We want to spend 80% of our time on the people who are lazy, who don't want to work, or who are not even using the products anymore, but they want your attention. Love them anyway, but don't give them all of your attention, because that's not where you need to focus. All right, then looking at our training structure, it's important that you understand what it is that we offer. I sometimes get the impression that people think, here's a quad system, here's a member training on a Wednesday, here's a supervisor call, here's an HOM, there's a BBS, that they see it as these disjointed, separate things. And it's not. Every single thing that Herbalife puts together and every single thing that we put together as a team, if you take a step back from that, if each one of those things was a piece to a puzzle, and you would start putting those pieces next to each other, you'd see that they actually fit together, because they're designed in such a way that they help you to create a flow, help you to create momentum in your business, help you to take a person who has just signed up as a member, who's at the same time a customer looking to get a result on the products but wants to earn extra money, straight into something like our new member Kickstart program. And the new member Kickstart program is designed in such a way that hopefully by the end of the month, they've done enough to qualify for the quad system. And then from the quad, develop them further, where they start qualifying for the promotions that will get them into the leadership development weekends, that will get them not just into the extravaganza trainings, but get them into Friday afternoon and Friday morning trainings. It's all about teaching people how to jump over the smaller hurdles, but as they progress and get comfortable with jumping over the smaller hurdles, they eventually get to the big hurdles and they're competing in the big races and they're comfortable to do so. So if you're always just focused on yourself and how do I qualify, oh, but I'm already qualified, so I don't need to pay further attention to it, that's the wrong thinking as a leader. You need to be clear that you qualify automatically anyway, that you make it happen. And at the same time, look at your organization. Who's on track? Who can qualify? And again, picking up the phone. This is the time now where we promote the quad massively, but sending someone a WhatsApp and say, hey, congrats, I see you did 300 PPV last month. You qualify for the quad system. Can I send your name through to BIA? No. That's not how you do it. You pick up the phone and you say, hey, congratulations. I see you did 300 personally purchased volume. You qualify for the quad. Can I tell you what the quad is about and how it can actually help you to achieve your goal that you shared with me, where you'd like to earn 5,000 Rand per month? That's what you want to do. You want to be excited when you call the people, but you want to give them all the information. I've had it in quads already where people have signed up for the quad, but they have no idea what it is that they signed up for. You need to explain it properly to them, that they understand what it's going to require of them, what it is that they need to put in from their side. But also, guys, do yourself the favor, and when you're sitting with your brand new member in those first couple of days, please don't wait for 10 days and just dump your member in the Kickstart program and think that that's going to get them off to a flying start. Those first couple of days are crucial with your brand new member. sit down with them and give them the roadmap of what they can expect, that they're going to get a message from BIA, that they're going to get an invitation to join the member Kickstart program and what the Kickstart will do for them. And that if we get cracking straight away and they go from the Kickstart into the 21-day program for the rest of the month, they should be eligible to join a quad after that, because they would probably have their 300 PPV, if not more. And so you want to give them a roadmap that all the towns that they're going to hit along the way to their destination. That's how you see it. So give them that overview at the start already, because then they have something to look forward to. They know they can tick that block. People like ticking things off a list. It gives people a sense of accomplishment. So if you say, hey, so this is what we're going to be focusing on for the next 2 to 3 months, fantastic. Then they know what to expect. They know where they need to plug in. And they also understand, if they said they want to earn 5,000 Rand per month, it's not going to happen by doing nothing. They need to sacrifice a bit of time by attending trainings, by attending an HOM, by plugging into the Wednesday evening call, by putting their name forward and joining a quad and doing it to the best of their ability. Okay, but the important thing with that is, if you are only 20% excited, your member is only going to be 5% excited. So please don't send WhatsApps. Don't do a half-assed job with doing things like that and promoting events. Pick up the phone and talk to your member about that. And talking about events, when it comes to booking tickets, whether it's for a BBS, whether it's for an LDW, whether it's for an extravaganza, have the attitude of you book your ticket first. Because I promise you, if you wait until the week before the event, the tickets are either going to be sold out, or you might get a ticket, but by then it's going to be too late to start promoting it to your team, because some of them might need to travel, they need to make arrangements, and you say, I'm alone at the LDW, or I'm alone at the extravaganza, why don't my team want to come? It's because you had the attitude of, I'm going to wait and see. So guess what your team does? They don't even wait. They don't even see. They're not even interested. You need to be the excited person. You need to say, hey guys, I've just bought my ticket. The tickets came out today. I bought my ticket for the LDW. I've bought my ticket for the extravaganza. I'm definitely going. Who's going with me? Because if you've got 3-4 months, that's usually before the tickets, or by then that the tickets are released, there's enough time to plan and put a plan together where they can earn the money, especially if they need to travel, where they can earn the money to pay for their ticket, if it's that bad financially on their side where they can't buy the ticket up front. But if you've committed, how you talk to your team about those events is completely different compared to when you wait and then at the last minute say, hey, by the way, I bought my ticket. Does anyone want to go with me? So make sure you have that attitude of booking your tickets first. Then with regards to the promotions that we run and that Herbalife runs, it's the same story, guys. Don't think, oh, I'm a supervisor, so I can't qualify for the MAP promotion. Wrong attitude again. Yes, you can't qualify for it, but by goodness sake, by now as a supervisor, it's not about you anymore. It's not about you qualifying for a promotion. It's about who in your team can you help to qualify for those promotions. Because guess what happens when you have 2 or 3 people who qualify for the MAP promotion? You start hitting world team. You start building active world team. If they go for the team promotion as well, on top of that, where they qualify as a supervisor, you start building supervisor volume in your downline. That helps you to build the royalties that you need to earn the bigger incomes, to hit active world team, ed team, mill team, press team, and beyond. That's how it starts. But if you just see it as a promotion and it's all about you, forget it. Nothing's going to happen for you. In actual fact, your business will probably go backwards. So use BizWorks. Again, look at how many people you have that are on track. Who are the guys who are averaging 200, 300, 400 volume points per month already, that you can start getting into that mode of qualifying for the MAP promotion and qualifying for the team promotion, hitting supervisor at the same time. Because if you find those guys, but you show them how to do it, again, not just saying, hey, by the way, it looks like you're on track for the MAP promotion. You can win a Bluetooth, you can get a Bluetooth speaker and you can get a smartphone. Wrong approach again. If you know the person's goal you'll be focused on, this is a promotion that will help you achieve your goal of earning 5,000 Rand per month. And oh, by the way, when you hit it, you're going to get a phone from Herbalife. We need to move away from promoting the gifts. It's not about the gift. The gift is not the important thing. Because if you promote the gift, guess what's going to happen? The person is going to work, qualify for the gift, and then you're going to see zero volume at the end of it. Why? Because they've probably purchased most of the volume themselves just so they can get the phone or just so they can get the speaker and Bluetooth set. Stop focusing on the promotion. It's a by the way. Focus on what it is that they will achieve in terms of their goals if they go for the promotion. And if you have enough people working towards their goals, you're going to sit back and laugh because you're going to see all your goals starting being ticked off without you even having focused on it. And you'll be in that wonderful position where you phone up your member and say, hey, you've qualified for the MAP promotion. And they're like, what was that now again? How does that work again? And you say, guess what? You're getting a branded smartphone. What? Did I qualify for a smartphone? I had no idea. That's how you want to build your business, where people are focused on the right things and not the wrong things. And it's a subtle difference between the two. But the mindset of your member who's going for it is completely different. Then when we look at things like recognition, we are so quick to criticize people when they don't do the right thing, or we expect members to do massive things when we haven't even recognized them for getting the small things right. So a couple of ideas for you guys. Recognize every single small success that your members achieve. If they've had a result on the products, do a cute little photo, share it on your team chats, share it on the group chats, share it on the Facebook page when we've eventually got that up and going. Recognize the person for signing up as a member, for getting started. When they place their first order, recognize them for that. When they've brought in their own team members, if they've signed up their first member, congratulate them for that. Recognize them for being the top volume producers in your team, qualifying for promotions, if they're on track for the promotions. If there's 2 or 3 legs to a promotion, recognize them when they've hit that first leg. Don't wait until they finish the qualification before recognizing them. We might think these are silly things, but I promise you, people get so excited when they realize that they're in qualification for something and that you actually care enough to recognize them for that achievement. It motivates them to keep going, because they know that someone is actually looking out for them. Someone actually cares. Because most people don't believe in themselves anymore, because other people have told them they're not good enough, they don't matter, and they'll amount to nothing and they won't achieve anything. That's probably 90% of the people walking around out there. And when we invite them to an HM and a BBS, we tell them that you can be, have, and achieve anything you want in your life. But that's not enough. That gets them excited, that gets them interested. The rest is up to us to say to them, hey, you're amazing. You're doing so well. Just keep going. You're on track. We think it's silly things. Guys, those things make such a massive difference to a person when they just get that little message to say, you're awesome. Right. Boost people up. Show them that you believe in them, and show them what they can achieve. Because sometimes we need to see what's up and possible for them in the future. They're not even looking that far. It's our job to look 2, 3, 4. We need to be the headlights, all right? We need to be the brights in a car. They've got their headlights. They're focusing 10 meters in front of them in this darkness that they're in. We've got to be the spotlights that show them 500 meters ahead, where the road is going and what's possible. And then just finishing off what I had prepared for tonight, and this is probably where I'm going to be doing most of the hard talk, and this is about excuses and challenges. I actually don't care what excuse a person comes up with, what the reason is for not partaking in something or not doing something. All excuses are equal. It's just your decision where you decide for yourself that whatever the excuse is that you're offering is more important than the goal that you wanted to go for. And that's fine if you're okay with that. But if I'm sitting with one of my team members and I know what their big goals were, and they come with an excuse of, something that happened, or the kids, or it's too hot, it's too cold, it's raining, it's windy, whatever the case may be. It's all just an excuse. We have a choice to decide to not let whatever happens influence what it is that we need to do. And I know of a very close colleague of mine here in Cape Town. I'm not going to say who it is, but I know that on a day that we had a BBS, she showed up at a BBS after their house had burned down that morning. They literally got out of the house with just their pajamas on. They couldn't rescue anything out of the house. She borrowed clothing from someone else. Their whole family borrowed clothing from someone else, and she showed up at the BBS. No one knew her house had burnt down that morning. I only found out about that later, and I said to her, what the heck? What were you even doing at the BBS? You know what she said to me? I had customers coming, I had members coming, I had to show up. Nothing happened to me. Yes, my house burned down. My house can be replaced, my clothing can be replaced, but this is my life. This is my business that I'm building. I had to be here, so I made a plan. That day is when it really hit home to me that we so easily excuse things where we're not feeling well, or we're not feeling in the mood, or the housekeeper didn't show up and you have to clean house. Fair enough. If you want to use those excuses, no problem. But understand that when you're thinking, why am I not growing? Why is my business not growing? Why is everyone else moving? It's because we allow too many excuses. And, you know, the things that happen to us are there to teach us. They are there. Every time a challenge comes, you actually need to say, fantastic, growth is going to be on the other side of me solving this challenge. And I know there are some hectic things that happen to people, fair enough. But the more you allow these things to influence your decisions, the more you can actually set yourself back. Another silly little thing is like watching television. I was listening to a training from Jim Rohn this morning where he says that a guy was bragging one day about this fancy TV that he had bought himself that cost him $400. And Jim Rohn said to him, that TV didn't cost you $400. That television is costing you $40,000. And the guy laughed and said, what do you mean? Jim Rohn said to him, the amount of hours that you're going to be sitting in front of that television where you're not going to be working on your goals and building your dream life, that's going to be the real cost of what that television cost you. So again, I'm not saying don't watch television, but perhaps take stock of how much time do you spend watching television, and then you say, I don't have time to do my Herbalife business. I don't have time to phone my members. How many telephone calls can you make in an hour that you were watching a television program? And again, if you're okay with watching the television program and being with where your business is at and you're happy there, again, I'm not talking to you then. That's no problem. But if you're sitting on this call tonight and you're thinking, damn it, man, why is everyone else moving and I'm not moving? Why am I seeing growth in other people but I'm not seeing growth? It's all of these little things that we think don't matter that actually matter the most. You always need to ask yourself if what you're busy with right now is bringing you closer to your goals. Is it helping you get closer to where you want to be? If you'll just indulge me for 2 minutes, there's something I want to read to you guys. So Winston Churchill said that success is going from failure to failure, but never losing your enthusiasm. So don't be despondent when things go wrong. Be happy, because it's another opportunity to try again and to do better. Elon Musk, those of you who know a little bit about technology, he's that guy that does all the electric cars and all of those types of things and sending rockets up into space. He says that in business, in any business in actual fact, success comes from going from obstacle to obstacle and figuring out how to solve it. And if you think about it, guys, we get paid to solve problems. This is what we do as Herbalife coaches. With our clients, with our members, whatever their problems are, we have a solution for that. But we sometimes forget that at the same time, we're working at solving our own problems. And believe me when I tell you, when you start earning more money, the problems get even bigger, because the lessons that you need to learn and the growth that you need to experience as a person, that is what it requires. So it's not going to be easy, but is it going to be worth it? Absolutely. You know, we offer products and services that help people solve problems related to their well-being. We offer people solutions where they might be struggling to pay their bills or they're wanting a better life. Our compensation plan helps them with that. So if you're stuck at an obstacle, it's not a sign of failure. It's just a sign of personal growth and growth in your business. But every time you step away, when that obstacle gets dumped in your road, guess what? You're slowing down your growth. You start going backwards. Your obstacle is showing you the next problem you need to solve in order to earn more money. That's how you need to see these things that come across your path. The obstacle is actually the way forward. It's actually showing you how to proceed. So I want you guys to start changing your mindset. Think differently about these things that come across your path. Instead of saying, I'm stuck or I'm failing, rather see it being an obstacle and you need to learn. There's a lesson in it. What do you need to learn to make this obstacle disappear? If you can figure out the obstacle you're currently at, you'll earn more money. But if you can sit down with your team and help them solve the obstacle they are facing as well, you will make lots of money. So train the muscle of problem solving and creativity, and teach problem solving and creativity within your team. Teach them to have that mindset of not, oh, poor me, why is this happening to me? Rather of, great, this has happened because growth is on the other side. Let me figure out how to work around this problem. And if you get that right, and if you help your team to think the same way, if you duplicate that thinking, you and your team will be unstoppable, guys. That's me. Thank you, Bea.
Wow. I'm really impressed here, Lizel. That was LDW on its own. I would like to take the opportunity to open up for questions if there are any questions.